Well, welcome back to Channel Ron. Today I'm working on the little fake fireplace here, the little portable space heater. I've worked on this once before. It may look a little bit different because I had taken it out of the furniture piece that this sets in, just to make things a little easier. On my last video I showed you how to take this out of the piece of furniture, and I just thought it'd be a lot easier this time just to have it already. So what's going to happen is the heater is working fine, but down below here, the little fake fire, it's not working properly. And as you've seen before, it's making a little bit of a noise. So what's going to happen is I'm going to lay this down and we're going to open this up and see if we can find out what the problem is. So let's get started. Setting this on its face, it's not going to hurt it as long as you've got something underneath it. I've got this cloth here I use for my table anyway, so I shouldn't have a problem. So let's go ahead and pop the back of this off. Now this doesn't affect the heat coming from the unit, but it doesn't give that little fake fireplace look. So the motor's just vibrating. I tried turning it, nothing's really happening. So what we'll do is we'll pull that motor out of there and check it out. Okay, before we take the motor out, we're going to have to go ahead and take this little unit here out that gives us our fake flame. So looks like there's like a pin. We're going to have to bend up to get out of there. Feels like aluminum. Turn it back. So I should be able to get right in there now and pull that out. There we go. And now we should be able to pull this unit out. Just like that. Alright, let's go ahead and get the motor assembly out. Alright, so now what we have to do is we need to disconnect the power to this motor, and I can't get my camera in there, but luckily enough I have my little action camera here that I'll use, so we'll go ahead and get that down in there so you can get a view of what we're trying to do. And as you can see right here, okay, we have to pull that connection. So see if I can do this with two cameras running. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that clip like that. Like that. Alright, and then you just have to push on that little tab right there. Easier said than done. There we go. So we got that disconnected, and let's go ahead and pull that out. Okay, well there's the motor. It doesn't look like anything we're going to be able to fix. I'm probably going to have to order something like that. I'm not even sure that I'm going to be able to do that. So we're going to do a little bit of research before we go any further. Alright, so on the motor, basically all I did is I typed in fireplace motor, and it came up with a bunch of motors. It came up with some heat motors, some fans, but oddly enough it came up with this first one right here, and there was no numbers on the one that I had taken out, so I'm kind of just guessing on this. So when I clicked on it, it did come up with some measurements. I believe it's right here. So I did take a couple of measurements, and it come to find out that it's, you know, it's pretty much exactly the same thing, other than the threaded part in the top and the second hole down the bottom. It's 110 volts, $8.90. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase that. So again, you know, let me go back here. There's a lot of different types. There's another one here. I mean, it's 30 bucks, and I really didn't see any difference on that one. And I think that was about it. If you look hard enough, you may find it. But this is the first one that came up, and that's what I grabbed. $8.90. It was worth a try. All right, we got the package, and I knew when I ordered it that the connections were probably not going to be on it, so I have to splice those on. So let's go ahead and get it open here. And we're correct, there's no connections on here, so we'll have to take the one off this motor here and just splice it on. So not a big deal. Just kind of match it up. It looks identical. I don't see anything different about it. The one that was on the unit itself, there was no numbers on it. So again, I just kind of had to kind of guess online. So let's go ahead and get this started. First of all, I think what I'll do is pull this unit right out of this housing. Again, we're going to use our 11/32 socket. Alright, obviously we're going to need that. Okay, so here's the bad one, and I'm just going to cut these wires off, because this is the end we need to plug back into our heater. Go ahead and strip these ends. You can either solder these, butt splice together, whatever. I'm just going to use a couple of wire nuts. Wire nut them in now. Alright, that's all there is to it. So what we'll do now is we'll set this down and reinstall it, after which I install it back into here, obviously. So that will go right back into this unit right here. And we'll hook it back up and we should be all set to go. Alright, let's go ahead and reinstall the motor just like we took it out. Next, let's go ahead and plug it back in to where we had unplugged it before. Just like that. And then there's a little clip up there. You want to make sure you put it inside that clip so it doesn't get caught up on anything. Just like that. You want to slide this end in first. Just like that. Push that down in, and then we can lower it down onto the motor. And pick this end up. It's up like this. Just kind of guide that in there, and you want to line it up with the holes to put our pin back in. Like that. Then remember, just like when we took it out, we need to kind of bend that down in to hold it in. And it's aluminum, so you can almost do it with your thumb. Just like that. Let's go ahead and turn it on and see what it does. There we go, running like a champ. As you can see, there's not a whole lot to this. It's just some LEDs coming up, bouncing off this reflective tape, and kind of shining it on our background. Go ahead and put the back plate back on. Oh yeah, all back up and running. Not a whole lot to this, as you can see, but it adds a nice little effect to it. I mean, it doesn't keep the heater from working, but it adds a nice little effect to the heater. So we're all set with this. I'm just going to wipe it all down, put it back into the piece of furniture that I took it out of, and then off to the next project. Thanks an awful lot for watching.